Hey guys, Amanda Salas here from the Growth Syndicate. Imagine a journey from rebellious teenager to construction industry influencer, where breaking rules leads to building success. Clare Friel isn't just another entrepreneur, she's a connector who transformed her early challenges into a powerful marketing and PR agency. From a childhood escapade at 14 to cycling across counties for charity, her story is about resilience, breaking stereotypes, and creating opportunities where others see obstacles. She's not just in construction, she's changing how women see themselves in the industry, mentoring the next generation, and proving that your biggest setbacks can become your greatest strengths. Want to know how she did it? Buckle up for an inspiring ride through Claire's unconventional path to success.
That's the problem with education. Like, you look at curriculum and what they teach, and it isn't necessarily, they're not quick enough to, like marketing, I don't know if you can, but I'm pretty sure you can't do a GCSE in marketing.
Good business is like a good recipe. You need to know all the ingredients, not just which ingredients you need, they need to be quality ingredients, but you need to know the degree to which you need them. You know, too much chili is not going to be edible. No chili is not going to be tasty.
I think it was rebelling, like, so probably mum and dad were quite strict, probably more so mum, but it's that kind of, oh, well, I'm going to get told off for doing something I haven't done, so I may as well do it.
Trauma makes people amazing behavioural profilers because you have to be street smart, and you have to learn how to read people, not just from what they say, but the intonation.
It's like often people will be like, ring us and say we need a new website, and it's news, and I always say, you think that is the most important thing in the world. It's not news, no one cares.
Yeah.
Because to you, the website's lovely, but if no one's visiting it, what's the point?
So, I mean, hold out to that. Listen, if it's any consolation, the older I get, the more cantankerous and direct I get. So, as you get to my age,
and you be my,
you become really rude.
You be my gatekeeper.
Yeah. Channel your inner mic when you're out there and they're taking the piss. Welcome back to another episode of Success is a System. I'm here today with Clare Friel, and I'm telling you now, what an amazing entrepreneur. Women in construction, women in leadership, has been voted as one of the top 100 people in terms of influence in construction. I know you're going to get some great things. We're going to talk about everything from growing up to building a business to having multiple businesses. Clare, welcome.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much on this sunny day.
It is. Wouldn't make a difference whether it's sunny or not. We're still both hyper. I think we're both on that spectrum somewhere. So, I always say if it's raining, liquid sunshine.
I love that.
It's like, we're doing it. But success is a system.
Yeah.
It's all about what makes you who you are, what challenges did you go through to be who you are, what worked in your favor, what people along the way helped you. So I always start back at the beginning. Tell me about you growing up. Was it stable? Was it single parent? Was it both parents? Was it step parents? Was it brothers, sisters? Were they horrible? Were they nice?
So mum and dad moved over from Ireland 5 years before I was born. They moved to London. They then moved out to Felixstowe when I was 1. So that's where I was brought up. I've got 2 brothers and a sister. I'm the eldest child. Upbringing, great, stable family. The nightmare was me.
Yeah.
And I think it was that thing of kind of being the eldest. Also, mum and dad had come over from Ireland, so the even though it's not that far away, the kind of culture was probably very different. So I used to have to go to Catholic school on a Saturday to catechism, because there was not a Catholic school where we were.
Right.
And then went on to high school, then probably 13, 14. I wouldn't say I went off the rails, but I got some bit of trouble.
Let me park it there, because I want to come back to that, going off the rails, because, people hide that sort of stuff, and yet it's often the making of us. But I don't know if you've heard the saying that firstborns want to rule the world and secondborns want to change it. But there is so much expectation on a firstborn, and certainly if you're in a fairly big family, as a 4, did you say?
Yeah.
As the oldest, you're expected often to look after them, to get their dinner, to be, to help them get ready for school and that. But do you think that is what gave you some of your leadership skills, or did that come later?
I think the leadership skills came later, and I think now that I'm a parent, you kind of with your first, you don't come with a manual, and also very aware when, like, my dad's family were over here. But my mum, she was one of 8, and her support network was in Ireland. And then the Irish family, the rest of my siblings came in quite quick succession. So it's kind of like, right.
Lots going on.
Going on.
Yeah. Was it a big enough house, or were you all in?
Funny enough, mum and dad still live there now.
Oh, nice.
Because mum always tells the story of where she was brought up in the mountains of Ireland, one of 8, and they all slept in one bed. But they're still in the house, very empty house.
That's why I asked, because I shared a bed with 2 brothers till I was 11, and people say, "Well, a bedroom?" No, a bed. I got my own bed at 11. I thought, oh, and even then it was a bunk bed, and all 3 of us were still in the same room.
Yeah.
But and at the time you didn't see that as anything bad. It is just what it is.
Yeah, and I think it was quite like I think I shared a room with my sister at one point, and it was just nice. It's like having a slumber party.
And you all close?
Yeah, we're all close.
Good.
All close.
What made you go off the rails then?
I think it was rebelling. Like, so probably mum and dad were quite strict. Probably more so mum, but it's that kind of, I'm going to get told off for doing something I haven't done, so I may as well do it. But I think it was probably subconscious as well. And it was that thing of, like, on the scheme of things, what I did wasn't even that bad. But
for the family, the strictness.
put it in that scenario, then it was the end of the world.
And 14, give us a bit of a flavour. What was number 1 in the charts? What kind of era was it?
I think it was 13, 14. I think I should know because I play all the classics in my car all the time. So I reckon you're talking Nelly, probably Eminem. Moving into like Solid Crew and Blazing Squad, but it was kind of the R&B. Well,
that alone has given us a flavour for what sort of music you're into and so on. But so when you say off the rails, what was it? Was it like a bit anti-establishment? Was it bad at school? Was it bad at home?
No, so I was always if I was looking back, if I enjoyed something, I really put my heart and soul into it, like academically. But if I didn't, I disengaged. Which is probably very similar to the way I run my business now. Anyway.
So what did you enjoy and what didn't you enjoy?
I enjoyed media at A-level. I did enjoy kind of English when I was younger, reading books, etc. But I've realised as I grow, I've got a real issue with being told what to do.
Yeah.
So I think, well, no matter what you wrap it up as, it's that. And it's not that I wouldn't take advice or anything like that. But it's not having that. So if you read a document and they were like, write down, what does this piece of writing tell you? That's all open to interpretation. So it's like when I was doing my confirmation, the priest said, like, I really need to think about whether I wanted to do it or not. I didn't want to do it, but I was doing it for my dad. So they would be kind of talking us through different things, and I'd be like, right, but did that happen though? Yeah, it's that curiosity and also seeing it from everyone's perspective.
Questioning should be good, but you're almost not allowed to question something.
Yeah, no, you can't question. And I think now a lot of people are afraid to question anything because you can get cancelled for the most innocent of questions.
Well, it's true. And, it's funny because tomorrow morning, my post that's going out on LinkedIn is, the theme of it is around Disney, observe the masses and do the opposite, which is one of his famous sayings. So, and yet all we're taught all our life is you've got to fit in, you've got to fit in, you've got to do as you're told, you've got to follow this plan, you've got to fit into the way that we teach and so on. And yet you saying you didn't like being told what to do, I was exactly the same at school. I wouldn't call anyone sir. If they called me Green, I'd call them Smith, and then I'd get into trouble. And my mum says, "Will you just fucking do it? Why can't you just call them that?" I said, "Well, they didn't call me it." Yeah. And I don't know why. And they're just right back then, probably about the same age. I was a punk rocker. It was a different era. But I was thinking, if they show me respect, I'll show them respect. Respect is earned, not given, kind of thing. And I kind of knew that, sensed that right back then. But if you look at the entrepreneurs, the people who change things, and as I say that, I think of the Apple advert, you can berate the people who change things, but they change the world, kind of thing. They're the people who don't fit in. And yet, even as parents, we then to start trying to get our kids to fit in. It's not the right thing to do, is it?
Yeah, and I think it's giving you the freedom to be who you want to be, and as long as you're not hurting anyone, I think that's key. And I'm really big on, like, when I do go and speak to people at college, or if I come across someone, really interested in finding out kind of what their skill set is. And I think we're taught from a young age, You have to know what you want to do when you grow up. And you look at a job title and then you work back what you can do to fit into that job title. Whereas I think what you need to do is look at all your skills and do it the other way around.
Yeah.
And also creating stuff, because when I was at school, there was no such thing as social media. The world's ever evolving. So even if you don't know or haven't found your place, it's coming, or create your place.
Well, funnily enough, I was on GB News just this morning, and the unions, ACAS, have just done a study and showing that 25% of workers are afraid of AI and worried about their jobs. And they're almost saying, so we should hold it back. Really? I mean, the world's changing anyway. Shouldn't we be saying you need to learn some different skills? We need to learn how to do stuff differently.
But I think that's
not
the problem.
stopping progress.
I think that's the problem with education. Like, you look at curriculum and what they teach, and it isn't necessarily, they're not quick enough to, like marketing. I don't know if you can, but I'm pretty sure you can't do a GCSE in marketing, social media, things like that. Like, they are probably
well, if you did, it'd be so out of date.
Yeah, and it's and this is the thing. Even with running a marketing agency, like you just touched on AI, that wasn't even on our radar a few years ago. But then what does make me laugh is 2 days after it's launched, you see loads of experts pop up on LinkedIn. Like, I'm an expert in AI. Well, how? Probably asked AI. I've had to be an expert in AI. But now like we were just talking about pre-podcast, how you can use it to your advantage. And it's a really useful tool if used correctly.
So let's just go back a little bit to come forward again. You went off the rails at 14. What was the biggest issue with that, and what was the biggest strength that came out of that, and what got you back on the rails?
I think kind of used to work off the rails. I think it was just, I ran away from home. We had a school disco. Everyone asked me to buy the alcohol. Back then, it was really easy. So I bought alcohol for everyone at the school disco. And I remember walking up to the school disco and I could see the teachers stand outside. And I said to my friend, if I walk in that door, I'm going to be in real big trouble. And they're like, oh, don't worry about it. You'll be fine. That's exactly what happens. Then there were my parents. And my parents came to pick me up. I even tried to get out of it. So at that point, it was just home phones. So I had a home phone in my bedroom with a different phone number. So I told the teachers my mum and dad had changed their number and to try this one. And Dad picked up. I couldn't really.
You were never going to get away.
No, I know. So that night. So I'd been working. I think I worked from the age of 12, and I managed to save up like I think I have £500 in my bank account. £2 an hour as a waitress.
It's quite a lot.
Yeah. So Mum and Dad took me into town the next day because Mum said like I need to dress more appropriately for school. So we were in Owen and Owen back then. The shop doesn't exist anymore. So do you know what? I'm not doing this. So just walked off. Went to Abbey National, withdrew all my cash. At the payphone at Ipswich train station, I rang Jersey European desk at Stansted Airport.
Oh, what?
Got the train from Stansted to Liverpool Street to Stansted, paid for my ticket, got on the plane.
So didn't just run away, sit on a curb and up the street?
Yeah, so someone said I used to run away to my grand's. I was like, well, mine's in Ireland. So got on the flight. I'd already coordinated a lift to my cousin's when I got there with someone on the plane.
Wow. And
then it said, police came on just before. And were like, are you Clare Friel? And I was like, maybe. They're like, you're not supposed to be here, are you? I was like, definitely not. Even the police were like checking, saying like, oh God, I used to run next door or something.
Yeah.
Like in hindsight, I feel so bad. Like as a parent, what I must have put my dad through that day. But then had to go to the police station, got interviewed just to make sure that everything was okay at home, which obviously it was. And then Mum and Dad decided to move me from the school that I was in and into an all-girls Catholic private, just an all-girls school, private school, which was a bit of a culture shock. But equally, it wasn't just the incident that was a catalyst for that. But at school, there was a lot of kind of like gossip and finger pointing and blame.
Girls' houses. My girls went to a mixed school, but in girls' houses. Oh, it's vicious.
Yeah, see, this was a mixed school. That was fine, but I think there was lots that went on, and so it was best that I just moved on from that school. I moved to an all-girls private school.
Nice.
Yeah, very culture shock.
Culture good, bad?
Well, I think because it was year 10, a lot of friendships had been formed. Obviously, I'd been used to being in the state system, which was a lot less formal. So to stand up and greet a teacher with their full name was a lot.
Yeah.
And then also kind of the girls that had been there since primary school, because it was one that you could go through to high school. It even their houses and their lifestyle, and then our semi-detached in Trimley. It was just completely different. But it was, again, I look back.
Did that inspire you, do you think? Or did it like intimidate you?
Inspired me to get out of there quickly.
Right.
And I think because of the cultural differences as well, it wasn't bad, but I would have done better if I'd stayed at my old school.
Right.
Because again, I think it's only just occurred to me, they were so much stricter. So with there not being like...
Then you needed that.
The private girls' school was so much stricter. And I think with the not like being told what to do thing...
Oh, right. It just worked against
it just worked against me. But I passed everything. I think I got 4 Bs and 5 Cs.
Huh?
And then I wanted to get a job, but my parents wanted me to do my A-levels.
And you were glad they did? Oh.
I'm not sad that I did, but because I met like my media teacher, I still speak to him now, and met some amazing people. But I just wonder whether it could be 2 more years forward on my...
Well, you can't go back, can you? And part of me thinks, even if you could, you probably shouldn't. But roll forward a little bit. You went into construction. What was it about construction? Or did you go through jobs before you went into construction? What was the kind of order of stuff? And you had your little boy as well.
I had my daughter. So I went to... So after I started my A-levels, had my daughter in the May of my second year A-levels. So when I went back to do my second year, I was expecting her. I don't think I found out from memory until September. And then she was born in the May. So I went through my second year A-levels pregnant.
Not easy.
No, the school was really, really good. And I couldn't have done it without them. But I was determined to just get my A-levels under my belt. Then the subject I was drawn to was media, so I always wanted to work in television production. Passed my exam, well, only just a few of them, but got an A in my media. And then mum and dad were so supportive, and I had this thing in my head that I didn't want to conform to the stereotype, which at the time would have been like the Vicky Pollard kind of vibe. So mum and dad helped me with childcare, so I went up to London, pursued a career in television production.
Oh, wow.
So I worked post-production initially. I went up to London with my CV, just door knocking basically. I wish I still had a copy of that CV now, because it was almost like a really sad sob story. Anyway, I kept missing a call kept chasing this company called Evolutions Television. Then I think they rang me back and were like, you haven't got this job, it will keep you on file for next. I thought, no, they won't. So I just played them, and they eventually gave me opportunity. Got into post-production, worked on the first series of The Apprentice, MTV shows, lots of different programs. Then I realised I wanted to be on the production side of things. So I took 2 weeks holiday from that job to do work experience on Celebrity Big Brother. Then realised actually the balance was tipping too far the other way. I wasn't present enough for my daughter, because it was just me and my daughter with the help of my family. So I was working on Celebrity Big Brother, and it was Kenzie was on it from the Blazing Squad, and I looked after friends and family. So I built quite a good relationship, because you get to see them quite a lot. So their manager would come in, and I was like, I need a 9 to 5. I enjoy this side of things, but I need 9 till 5. So he gave me a job as PA to some of the artists that were on their roster, but that didn't work out. So I'm good at attention to detail sometimes, but it was like booking people out, and I think where their careers were at was probably kind of they weren't at the height of their stardom. Yeah. So I got made redundant from that, and that was kind of a blessing. I was like, right, I think I worked on a poker channel on night shift after that, and then I had to let it go. I had to let that dream go. Got temp admin jobs, and ended up I went to uni actually for a year, but like we were saying, what happened was I was doing media, because I thought actually around children, taking a degree in media, then becoming a media teacher. Yeah. But I really struggled, because they're like, why is that book there? Why is that candle there? And having worked in television production, I was like, because it is.
Yeah, it don't matter.
No. What's the emotional feeling behind it? And I just couldn't do it. So I was working.
Because you knew the reality, and they were trying to teach you theory that wasn't.
Yeah, and I was like, it doesn't align. It doesn't align. And so while I was doing that, I was working part-time in Gap clothes shop. But it's the money. I loved having money. Yeah. So then the hours started creeping.
Was it the money per se, or was it the independence that come from the money? What is it about money, do you think, that that drives people, because it's a big motivator more so when you're young. But
I think it's the opportunities. So I always think that money is not as necessarily about sitting with the amount of money in your bank, but it's having opportunities that would otherwise pass you by. So I think that's it, and not having that stress, because I think that, and I've had that in my life, even when employed, even if you know you're great at something, if you've got it in the background, I need the money, and that's your key driver, it's not always going to work, because you're focusing on not having it rather than having it.
Well, and they say that people love to say money's the root of all evil, but the actual interpretation is that the love of money is the root of all evil.
Yeah.
So if it becomes your ruler or the the reason for everything, it's a negative. But if it's a necessary tool to get you the freedom, the safety, the security, the comfort, then obviously it's just something I need to get because it's the raw material that enables me.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. Like I probably earn, well, for a long time, less than what I did when I was employed when I set up.
Right.
But actually being able to speak my mind, being able to stick to my values, being able to do whatever I wanted was far outweighed
and
that.
not having to conform to something that you didn't believe in conforming in. So,
being able to say, I'm really bad at saying no, but actually to things that didn't align with my values, just say no and not pretending. In corporate sometimes you've got to just suck it up and be like, but
I spent decades doing that corporate. It's why I do mostly SMEs now, because much as I liked it and it was a game I could play, it's like we'd have meetings to plan the next lot of meetings, and it's like the meetings that get cancelled at the last minute and you've done the work for it. And there's always someone above the in oil companies and the like particularly. And it just got more and more tedious to put up, and it's back to this kind of anti-establishment or it's not anti-establishment, it's anti the bollocks of corporate.
Yeah, it's anti-bullshit.
Corporate can be amazing when it's all well structured, but it's the people in it that manipulate it and they use it and they use people. That's what I struggled with. But so how did you become successful? What was it about you going into business that got you some of those wins, or did you have failure along the way?
I'd say I've had more failure than success, and I'd say that that's more valuable than success at times. Like
failure breeds success.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
And that wasn't a plug. I'd say kind of things I didn't like kind of have made my business a lot more kind of impactful, because all the failures, seeing things done badly, that more from bad bosses than I have good bosses, motivating the team how I felt as an employee, things like that.
So I mean that's a really good point, I think, to say, if you were, and I know you work and inspire and help a lot of people now, if some of those are thinking, Christ, my boss is a prat, or so, would you tell them to suck it up and learn from it, or would you? What advice would you give to them, or would you give to yourself when you were 18, 19, 20, 22, about those bosses? Because clearly it's benefited you.
Yeah, it has benefited me. It's just, you'll know when your time's up. You'll know when you've learned, like subconsciously.
Trust your instincts.
Trust your gut. That is one of the biggest things for me, is when I don't listen to my gut, it always ends up the way I thought my gut was trying to warn me. Yeah. And that is your best thing to read things with.
It's hard for people though when we live in such a conformative society though. Still, I mean, people think that they're doing side hustles and they're independent, but having had an international research business, one of the things I realize is people are infinitely predictable. They don't want to be predictable, but once you understand their behavioral profile, you can kind of predict how they will behave in almost any environment.
And so someone can say something to me, or someone can email me something, and regardless of what the words that they're presenting with, I know what their intention is. So if someone sends me an email and I know that's not what they mean, that will eat me. And it's like my old business partner, because I had a business partner for a period of time, we got an email from a client and I said, right, they're all sat in the office, this is what they're saying, that's what they mean, what is the meaning, and we're going to get a phone call any minute now and it's going to be this. And then we got it next day. She was like, how did you know? And I said, it's the empath thing in me, which is a blessing and a curse. And
it sounds like you had a solid loving upbringing, but the challenges along the way would have given you kind of trauma foundation. And interestingly enough, trauma and I talk about this a lot on the behavioral profiling. Trauma makes people amazing behavioral profilers because you have to like be street smart, and you have to learn how to read people, not just from what they say, but the intonation, the hesitation. I mean, kids are all amazing behavioral profilers because they don't listen to you; they listen to you. You know, if you were a 4-year-old and I was talking like this, you'd grab my face and turn it back because they want to listen to you. A lot of people lose that as they get older. But if you've had any challenges or trauma, or you've been the bad one, or you've been told you're the bad one, you keep that sensitivity to it, and you never lose it after a while. And that's why you are able to read it. Everyone could if they exercised that muscle, but they don't. They're lazy with the listening or the listening.
And I think it comes in really handy. So we predominantly work in construction, but I've got marketing and PR agency. So someone will come to us with a product or a service or whatever they come to us with, and I will see it from every angle. Not even an angle which I should. And I'll be like, right, if you do this, you're excluding these people. If you target at this is what that could be interpreted as. And then I surround myself with amazing people that can deliver for me. But it's that ideas thing and that empathy.
And particularly good to have marketing in construction, because as someone who mentors a lot of people in trades, they're often a great electrical engineer, a great gas safe plumber, a great carpenter, but nobody knows about them. They don't market, they don't build a brand, they don't understand the value of building a brand. Even if they've got a brand, they're going to be wearing a torn up, shitty, dirty t-shirt with the brand on, so they're not purveying the brand. And often a big part of what I'm saying is it doesn't matter what you do, it's the perception of what you do and how well you do it. You know, Charlie got 27 times EBITDA valuation for his business, 146 million quid. I mean, normally it's only tech or biotech companies that get multiples that high. The reason he got it is, he said, I'll turn up at the opening of a fucking paper bag kind of thing. He understood PR. He understood the Pimlico brand, and he understood how you could eat your lunch off of his vans. They were washed not just every day, every time they came back into the arches, they were washed. And everyone was told, if you ever come in yesterday's t-shirt, I'm going to send you home. If you ever come in unshaven, I'm going to send you home. Kind of thing. Because it wasn't a brand as in Shell or BP. They were the brand when they went into houses. But getting SMEs, and particularly trade construction businesses, to understand that they are the brand, and everything they say, do, or present is the brand. It's really bloody hard.
Business owners, are you ready to break through the ceiling and take your income and your impact to the next level? Welcome to the Growth Syndicate, where growth gets real. Led by UK entrepreneur and business powerhouse Mike Green, this is more than just mentorship. This is a movement, a syndicate of elite minds, experts in law, media, branding, finance, wellness, leadership, and more, all united with one mission: your growth. Whether you're stuck at 6 figures or sprinting towards 7, the Growth Syndicate gives you the tools, the team, and the tactical edge to scale smarter, faster, and with unstoppable momentum. No fluff, no hype, just real strategies, real connections, and real results. So if you're done playing small and ready to unlock the business and life, it's time. Join the Growth Syndicate today, because where growth gets real, success gets inevitable.
And I think there's been a big transition in things in a short period of time. So I set up the business, it'll either be 7 or 8 years ago next month. And at that time, I'd have companies come to me. So I do personally business development consultancy. So I'll go into SMEs, look at their work streams, make connections for them, help them grow. And then that's backed up with the marketing now. Yeah. But I'd have people, I don't really understand it, but I know we need to be on LinkedIn. And it's not just now, it's not just the business brand, it's your personal brand as well. Yeah. And the old network is kind of now going into retirement. They'd happily go out, have a beer, networking, etc. A lot of the people coming in don't want to network, and especially since COVID. So it's having that
they're uncomfortable doing it.
Yeah, and it's having that sweet spot of, and they value work-life balance more as well. It's having that sweet spot of having an online presence, the brand, personal brand, and it is positioning your brand.
So I know you won't do it as a sell as such, but tell me exactly what the business is, what it does, what stage it gets involved, because I know you get involved even at sort of college end, don't you, and helping some. So tell me what the business is and how you attract people and how you then change them or their business to make it successful.
So Friel is a full service marketing and PR agency. Majority of our work is done on referral. So I often think if we actually really put out there the marketing, which we will do at some point, but it's like a busman's holiday. So we work with companies of all sizes, work with charities, borough councils, marketing, website, PR. We also do crisis comms. So that's a service that is used quite a lot where someone will find themselves in a situation.
Keeping out the press as opposed to getting
keeping it, but having the right messaging going out.
Right.
So if a company's going under or they're shrinking or whatever, we can then help them communicate that out effectively internally and externally. I've then got Construction Anglia, which is a news website for the East of England, sharing good news, advertisements on that. Then Women in Construction Anglia started last October. It's that we've got a social media networking hub launching next week. We have events. It's to encourage young women into the industry, mentoring women in industry.
And there's more coming in now, isn't there?
Yeah, there seems to be, but it's retaining.
Right.
It's retaining. And what I've found is really interesting over the past few weeks. I've had lots of phone calls from parents that I don't know who have found me somehow through the Women in Construction.
And what's the essence of that? Are they worried
asking me to help their children?
Because is it because of the male dominant? What is it that's making?
Because they don't. There's a disconnect, which I'm noticing more now. So they want an opportunity. So industry's saying they need apprentices, they need the people coming in. Colleges are saying they need it, and that I'm getting calls from people who want to do it. Have either done the qualification, can't get an apprenticeship, or don't know where to look.
Right.
Or need to get into colleges. So there's a disconnect somewhere. So that's what I'm figuring out at the moment, how to plug. And I'm not saying there isn't a service out there that can do it. It's just very interesting that.
And whilst we're doing this, is there someone or something, or, I mean, I always think of business as being like an electrical circuit in the sense that, let's imagine it's all there, but there's one particular connection that isn't connected.
Yeah.
And if you can join that with either a catalyst or a wire or whatever to make that, the whole thing works. What's missing, do you think?
Well, that's what we've said. So our kind of slogan is bridging the gap between industry and education. And I think it's having that neutral party. So you've got the CITB, people like that. So I'm going to get people around the table and talk about it.
I'd love to be involved in it.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
It's just really, is it a call centre? Is that the answer?
Well, for me, I always think like marketing. People say, "Oh, what do I have to do in marketing? You know, is it social media or is it appearances or is it radio? Is it the vans? Is it the brochures?" It's like all of that,
Everything.
And they want to hear, no, it's just one thing.
Yeah.
But actually, it's a bit like a recipe. And you were talking about people being cancelled and different things. And for many years, I mentored Greg Wallace, and he's a mate. It's terrible what's happened to him because he's not really done anything. He told some crude, rude jokes, you know, and they were always slightly inappropriate, but that actually came out of nerves. But people don't know he was homeless at 15, eating food that was rubbish at a market, ended up helping a market operator, setting up a veg business. And anyway, long story, but he's actually very shy. So if he comes into a room and, he's not on the job, he has to fill a void with saying something, and often it'll be a shit joke. And he's such a nice guy who really cares. But someone said something, and all of a sudden he's been cancelled. But one of the things he said to me is good business is like a good recipe. You need to know all the ingredients, not just which ingredients you need. They need to be quality ingredients, but you need to know the degree to which you need them. Too much chili, it's not going to be edible. No chili, it's not going to be tasty. So it's knowing what ingredients you need, at what quality, at what proportion, and how they get added in a recipe to make a world-class output, a masterclass, if you like, of food. And if you could apply that to business and say it's all of those things, but you're doing too much of this and not enough of that. Or, until you've got a brand that resonates, there's no point promoting the hell out of it because it doesn't mean...
It's like often people will be like, ring us and say we need a new website. and it's news. And I always say, you think that is the most important thing in the world. It's not news. No one cares.
Yeah.
Because to you, the website's lovely, but if no one's visiting it, what's the point? And it's like the recipe analogy you just used. I always think of it as a restaurant. So you've got front of house, who's at the front of house, who's in the kitchen. And it's having that whole process. And everyone that I employ is better.
And everyone's sticking at their job.
Yeah, and everyone that I employ is better than me. And that's why I surround myself with them.
Which a lot of
deliver.
Entrepreneurs, actually, the best, the Bransons, the Elon Musk, and that, they completely get it. But a lot of SME entrepreneurs struggle to have people better than them. They're intimidated by it. They want to be top dog.
Yeah.
And yet they'll always only be as good as them. And often... you know, to know we're not good enough. You know, I love that saying, the more I know I know nothing. So the minute you accept you know very little, and even if you did, you're better than me at marketing, he's better than me at finance, Chris is a master of videography. You know, it's like, I don't actually need to be good at any of these things, but I need to bring the right people together.
And I think that's my first business, which the website's still live. It's funny when I come across it. Calling myself the original connector, and I think that I've realised is my superpower, connecting people. And all my jobs from television to where I am now, you'll ring me and say something obscure like I need someone to speak to about this. I'm not quite, and I'll be like, I know just the person. And even the television,
your black book.
Yeah, that's it. Funny enough, I clearing the house out over Easter weekend, and I found my black book from back in the day, and it was hilarious.
But I bet you, if you build the right relationships, and I'm sure you did because you're engaging in that sense, but I bet you could ring those people now and they'd pick the phone up.
Yeah, there's a lot of people I have.
But that's why networking's important, and young uns don't get it.
But also I find as well, like with networking, I've done classes on networking and things like that. And I don't know if it's misconstrued as being disingenuous, because it's natural to me. I'm curious, and there is a formula to it, as there's a formula to everything. But like things like standing a 3, because then someone will go over to a 3 because some will be left out, and things like that. So it's kind of, how do you bottle it up to share
the essence of it?
Yeah.
I mean, so in that sense, I want to come back to, you're helping people that haven't even got a job yet. There's no money in that.
Yeah.
But they'll probably be tomorrow's customers. So you're also helping some of the bigger companies. That's where the money is. How do you connect all those dots using your connector analogy to make the business that you've got? Which, you know, what's most important to you? It might be that makes the money, but this is where the passion is. Are they interdependent, or?
It's a funny one, because the business development is up and down. So that's why the market and PR is the stability, because we've got people on retainers. So sometimes I could go out, get someone, they appoint me, they've got a £1 million job, £5 million, whatever, within 3 months, and they don't need me anymore because they've filled order books for. Or it could be the other way around, right? We've been working for X amount of time, you haven't covered your costs, we're going to call it a day. So that's really up and down. So that's why now I pick and choose who I work with. And then the marketing side is the bread and butter of the business. But my buzz is empowering and helping people, and letting people know that they can do anything if they put their mind to it. Probably who I needed when I was younger. And
do you have a particular, I was going to say, given that, is that why you're trying to inspire the young people? Is there a niche? I mean, because the thing is, we can't be all to everybody. We want to be, but in marketing, what you realize is you've got to niche it down. You've got to narrowcast, not broadcast. So given that, where do you put your energy, or was your business focus as an idea? If someone's out there and they're listening to this, or they see a short from this session, they might be your perfect person that you could help. What is that? Who are they?
It would be on the marketing PR side, any business, but like I say, 90% of our work would be in the construction sector.
Yeah.
Kind of someone wanting to establish a brand or kind of get more work in.
Yeah.
Someone who's hit a wall. It's like, right, this is a business. Someone who's also, or someone that's acquired a business or has got a business to a certain point, needs to rebrand, relook at things, basically have a diagnostic.
As a full sort of spectrum, you cover it all.
Yes, so we can signpost, and even if it's something we don't offer, we'll signpost to people who can.
And is there, I mean, one of the things that I've got more, I mean, I do 2 days a week community charity and 3 days a week fiercely commercial. And I'm fine with that. So when I'm doing the commercial bit, I'm really clear that listen, unless you've got 10 or more employees or 200 grand or more turnover, you're not going to afford me. Now, I'll put a load of free stuff out there in the podcast, the daily, all of this sort of stuff. You buy my book for 12 quid, 15 quid, whatever. But if you're going to work with me, you've got to be at this kind of level. Is there a kind of minimum size that you could work with, or is there a kind of sweet spot that says, look, if you're going to work with us, it's minimum £1,000 a month or £2,000 a month, or does it not work like that?
Yeah, that's the minimum.
Right. Okay.
That we've got 3 days. I can't remember what the rate is. Really should know this off by heart. But 3 days minimum a month, and it's over £1,000.
Great.
Whereas if someone's a smaller business, I'll have a chat with you. I'll signpost you to the right people, and do it like that. And the Women in Construction Anglia accidentally started at the moment. That's a limited company, but we're changing that into a not-for-profit.
Right.
Because at the moment we're not even. It's not about making profit, but it's not covering costs.
Right. Right.
So I've
And are you not able to access grant funding from
turn it into a not-for-profit.
Oh, okay.
We'll be able to access grant funding.
Yeah.
And there's so much more out there. So that will, because that is taking up a lion's share of my time.
Well, and also I think some companies might see you as somehow competing, or let's say the marketing director in the business might see you as competing with their jobs. Perversely, even though you can go and help them, they're the one who, if you help too much, they look bad and you look better, kind of thing. But the minute you're a charity or community interest or not for profit, they don't see you as a threat so much, and they open their arms more.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, we're not just doing students. Like, I'm going into the job centre in May to sit down with women that are unemployed to talk to them about the opportunities. And this is all, I think the one thing people misunderstand is putting value on my time. So if I had a job in the corporate world, then regardless if I was coming to do a talk in a college or whatever, I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
Whereas when you run your own business, when I'm not fee earning, I'm getting nothing.
Yeah.
And it's not, and like I say, it's not about making profit from that, because I enjoy helping it, but I can't be out of pocket.
And that's why I'm really clear. Up to 2 days a week is non-fee. 3 days a week is a good fee. And funnily enough, after I did Secret Millionaire, I mean, you just get barraged with begging letters, and they've all got something. They deserve help. They need help. You want to help, but you can't help everybody, kind of thing, because you'll end up give everyone a quid. Where's that?
Oh, you'll burn out.
Yeah, well, all of that, and you do kind of mentally burn out. Anyway, I did a course with the Institute of Philanthropy, which was about strategic giving, which in and of itself almost sounds wrong. You've got a strategy for giving. That don't sound very, sounds a bit cold. But actually, if I could teach more businesses that if you had a strategy to say, I really want to do that, and I don't want to make money. In fact, I won't, can't charge you for it because I just want to give back. But that's the boundary within which I do that. 1 day a week, or 2 charities, or whatever it is. Outside of this, please don't ask me, because I'm already giving more than I can afford to give time-wise and stuff. And people struggle with boundaries in business.
I was going to say I'm the worst. Right, and funny enough, today I've had a PA start for me today, and that was so refreshing. I rang her on the way here to say, "Can you email?"
Right.
To say I'm running a little bit late, and I was like, "This is so weird."
She was very, very accurate. 11 minutes late, and yeah, it's good.
I was actually 17, but yeah, it's that thing of boundaries and wanting to help people, but knowing that you can't help everyone. And what has happened a lot as well, because my personal brand is very much construction. That's what I lead with. The business development side of things, and a lot of time I've invested time in people, advising them on stuff free of charge, and then they've appointed a marketing PR agency, and then they don't understand when I'm like, look, you could have asked us. I didn't know, or I didn't think. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to think next time you ring me and ask me to make an introduction, and the value in an introduction. So once I've introduced you to someone, I'm not needed.
Yeah.
So it's how do you quantify that?
And I mean, that's one of the things I'm really clear on as well. People say, oh, Mike, can you introduce us to this person? And it's not about the money, but it's like, it takes me 30 years to build this relationship, and I'll lose it in one phone call because I prostituted their contact.
Yeah.
Or Mike, can you just help me with this? And then if I can make it work, I'll give you the money back. I say, so you want me to give you my virginity on the promise that you might marry me another day?
Yeah.
I can't take that back.
And I think that's the thing. People don't realise how many can you justs there are.
Yeah.
And also, like you say, like the value like when I first started my day rate, people would be like, well, why we pay you that? We could get someone. You're not paying me for that day. You're paying me for the 15 years that I've spent building these relationships to be able to make that phone call to the decision maker to fast track. You can hire.
And that could be worth 100 grand.
Yeah, and some. It's wild. And then, or you can hire someone, train them up, pay them 30 grand a year, whatever. And that's fine because I do mentoring as well. So if someone wanted BD, but they want me to train them up, we can do that. But it is that thing of time spent over time learning.
And value in it. I mean, because I'm sure we both get it. But you get people, oh, Mike, can you help me with this? And they say, yeah, it's grand. You're going to charge £1,000 an hour. It's grand. Well, could you not just, I say, okay, can you just fit my boiler for me? Mm-hmm. Oh, well, you'll have to pay for the materials. I say, well, all the materials have taken me 40 years to learn,
It's intellectual
or it's
property,
the 2 days a week that I earn nothing that has given me it, or. So, I mean, hold out to that. Listen, if it's any consolation, the older I get, the more cantankerous and direct I get. So as you get to my age,
can you be my?
You become really rude.
Can you be my gatekeeper, please?
Channel your inner Mike when you're out there and they're taking the piss. But it is. Listen, you're taking the piss if you don't pay value, and you get what you pay for. So pay the bloody value. And I think that's really important.
Yeah.
And people should see that, and they should realize how disrespectful it is to even ask.
Yeah.
Really. But that's something we all got to work on. It's the systems. Mm-hmm. And I think that sometimes the failure breeds success. You said it, it's why I named my book that, Against Advice. You can't have failure in the title. Well, we need to learn about it. But equally, it is the stuff that you do that is not paying you that makes you more powerful, more valuable. But you've got to put food on the table, and you've got to employ those people. And two of the people, funny enough, you said about a PA, a VA, an assistant is one of the most important roles you ever get. And I often also say to people, one of the next ones, and I've used them for years and years and years, decades, is a driver. And people think, that's fucking arrogant. I say, what? Taxi drivers earn about £13 an hour, okay? A good driver, maybe £25 an hour. Anything you do that's worth more than £25 an hour, why would you be driving, kind of thing? Mm-hmm. Now, I enjoy driving, don't get me wrong. I lost my license at the minute, too much speeding, but
so I haven't got a choice.
I haven't got enough. I got bloody 14 points off. I got 5 speeding fines in about 2 months after 2.5 years of none. But so anyway, I lost it for 6 months. But even before that, to me, if I could get 6 hours of being at a call where I could concentrate rather than try and speak while I'm driving, or 6 hours where I could catch up on some sleep, or 6 hours where I could really get my head into something. Oh my God, the value in that, the power in that. And then as I was growing different businesses, I was able to say, take a manager who might be just ready to go to an area manager. And if they drove me for a couple of months, I can give them loads of mentoring and they can pick stuff up. So you might take somebody who's a junior in your business and they drive you a bit, but they hear so much. And you teach
I'm just a really bad passenger.
I'd
be like that on the brakes.
Slow down.
Slow down.
Well, actually, maybe become a driving instructor as well.
Yeah, there you go.
That's another third thing. But listen, we've been talking much longer than I expected.
Sorry.
No, it's good. I talk too much. But if there were 3 things you could say to someone just starting out, 3 things you could say to someone who's like been in business a couple of years and they realize they're imprisoned by the business, and 3 things that you could change at your stage now, what would those 9 things be?
Right. So the first 3 things were
things that you say to someone just starting out.
Know your worth from day one. And don't negotiate up, not down.
Right.
Be resilient.
Great advice.
Yeah.
Now, someone who's been in business a few years and everyone thinks it's looking great, but they feel more like it's a prison. To the outside, well, I've got this great business, he's got 8 vans on the road and employing 20 people, but he's thinking, I'm paying all of them more than I'm paying myself. And I'm working more hours than I could in a job. The resilience bit came out of the first one, and often it can be the same things, but what do you say to them? Is it about change? Is it about learning? Is it about growing? What do they need to do to break out?
I think that is actually the harder. The setting up the business bit is easy. Not easy, but the easier bit. It's a 2 years thing. It's almost like the 7-year itch. Honeymoon period's over. you can get a little bit resentful, because even at that point, everyone else will probably have what you want, as in the flexibility, clock off on time, and you don't have that. So that's the point. I made the mistake of kind of just working through and going against my gut at that point. Go with your gut, make sure you got the right team.
Yeah.
And be honest, find people you can talk to, because I'm probably too honest sometimes. People go, oh, you're right, looks really good. But I'm dying inside. Like, I'd just love to work in Tesco's right now.
Well, I saw something on while I was waiting for the GB news thing this morning. They were talking. There was a guy on talking about stress and anxiety, and we say, "How are you?" And he said, "Yeah, great." And he said, "Just reframe that question slightly and say, on a percentage terms, how well are you? 70% good, 60% good." Because suddenly that gives you much more accurate. And if someone says 70%, you say, "Oh, is that up or down on what's normal?" You can have a conversation.
And that's the thing, and people don't know. If you turn around and go, "You're right," and you're like, "Actually, I'm not." People don't know how to react to that.
No, it's like, fuck. I just wanted
the polite English. I'm fine. I don't want emotion, but just be transparent, because you never know who's watching.
No, I think that's great advice, and certainly you said about the team, get great people. But in the how are you? Maybe we need to get better at saying, "Do you really want to know?"
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
And say, to be honest, I'm fucking struggling.
Yeah.
But the next bit is the bit that a lot of people miss, and I see it behaviorally a lot. I mean, I get grown men crying here when I'm doing mentoring, and I don't mind, because this is a safe space. I don't mentor businesses. I mentor people who build businesses.
Yeah.
If we get through something, then suddenly we've got a clear foundation. But it is when someone says, how are you? And you say, well, to be honest, I've been better. That's when they should also say, I need help.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, the right people want to help you, but we're scared to ask for help.
And I think that's the one thing I've noticed as a business owner is so when you're an employee, you've got HR. If you want to go off or something happens, you've got that protection of, right, okay, that's fine, it's covered. Even with HR issues, as an individual, you can say how you feel, but as a business owner, you're very... it can be very claustrophobic sometimes, because you're dehumanized.
Yeah.
So say there's someone. I'll think about whether I get cancelled for sharing this or not. I'll let you know afterwards. Someone basically started a competing company against my company when they were working for me. So 6 months I've been setting it up, and as a human being, I wanted to say, "You serious? Like, I've been worrying about you, because you haven't seemed yourself, but you've been shafting me."
Yeah.
But you can't. You can't say stuff like that, because...
Really? I say it all the time.
Oh, no, I got told off.
No. So, well, listen, I'd rather ask forgiveness than permission, and that's sort of thing.
Yeah, I think a lot of the time as a business owner, you're seeing people, like you said, we might go on LinkedIn, think you're doing really well, They see the success, not what's going on in the background. Yeah. And it is bloody hard.
It is.
And it is lonely sometimes. It's not even that lonely at the top. It's lonely trying to get to the top.
Well, it is. And I often say to people say, why would I have a mentor? I say, well, listen, firstly, I don't know your business anything like as well as you do, and I never will, and I don't want to. But I might know the bits of the business that you don't know, like marketing, building winning teams, bit of selling, I say, but also, when you're in business, you don't want to go and share it with your partner for two reasons. One, you don't want them to worry. Two, you don't want to take it home, because if I say Jules and I have been together 37 years, but if I say to Jules, fucking hell, I've got a real problem, I'm really struggling, because she's my partner, until I tell her it's all okay, she'll want to talk about that on every fucking occasion. And so suddenly I can't get away from the business or work because I've taken it home and I've given her it as a problem. She wants to fix it. So you can't take it home easily. You can't tell the people below you, because the good ones will leave because they think, oh shit, we're in trouble. And so who do you share that with? Having a network or peer group or mentor.
ChatGPT.
Our neighbours. Chat is great. Wags his tail to me every time, even if I'm drunk or late. Yeah, it never argues. Never tells me my question is stupid. But on that, and you the few occasions I've seen you and some of the content I've seen, you're very high energy, always smiling. What keeps you smiling every day despite the stuff that goes on?
Antidepressants. No, to be fair.
Which ones?
Sertraline. No, to be fair, the buzz of getting up every day to do this, like I have suffered with my mental health quite a lot. But actually it's been cathartic sharing when I'm not okay. But what I did realise, I cycled across from Somerset to Suffolk a couple of weeks ago for charity. I saw it on LinkedIn. I don't own a bike. I'm not a cyclist. I signed up. I was like, sounds good. Got there. They had a bike ready for me.
You must have had a sore ass by the.
Do you know,
I do a lot of cycling, but nothing compares
concerningly,
for that. Yeah.
it was fine.
Oh.
That's the worrying thing. It was fine. But what I've realised is that was more valuable to me than a 10-day holiday. So it was being on the road, not being accessible, fresh air, nature, new people. So I bought a bike when I got back, all the gear and no idea. And I'm going to start doing stuff like that. So exercise, not for my body, but for my head. Yeah. And when your brain's 100 miles an hour, the only way you can switch off your thoughts is by focusing on something like that. And I'm not a runner. I run baths, not roads.
Well, and when you get my age, the knees don't work the same. But I cycle every Sunday, and it's funny because there's me, a Lord, a judge.
That sounds like a book title or a really good joke.
Like, funny enough, I said about getting a GoPro, and one of my mates said, "No fucking way," because the shit that we talk about while we're on the bike, it ain't getting out there, kind of thing. But we're all the gear, no idea. We're middle-aged men in lycra, but we always go for a cider and a coffee halfway round and stuff like. It's about the fresh air, the fun.
It's that, and then I don't drink anymore. I give up alcohol because that wasn't doing me any favors. So I gave up drink last June. And a lot of my stuff, so I have networking events that I arrange as well, was like property drinks, things like that. They don't align with me anymore. So I'm thinking of starting, like, paddles massive. So property and paddle, we've got a paddle place in Ipswich. And then property and pedals.
Oh, nice.
So it's like networking so people can get on the bike, have a laugh, clear their heads and do it like that. Because I think
And in construction, booze is a big problem.
Yeah.
More than any sector.
And I realised it didn't bring me joy. And it just, even if I had one or two, I wouldn't remember anything, and it just was not healthy for me. So I can't do moderation. So it's gone.
And it's interesting because there's a deputy lieutenant now. People say, what does the king do that the queen didn't, and stuff like that. But one of his big things is bringing joy back into the country. Mm-hmm. Pride and joy, and using that word joy. I don't think people spend enough time thinking about what brings them joy.
Mm-hmm. And that is the thing. You're in the hamster wheel of life, running a business, and if there's no end in sight, what brings you joy, and make sure you do more of it.
So 10 years time, where's Claire going to be? What's she going to be doing?
On a bike somewhere.
Well,
GB on a bike.
Yeah. Well, me and one of the mates, we've done London, Paris, Geneva, Nice. There's some great trips.
We'll have a discussion outside of this.
Yeah. You be the Suffolk end, I'll be the Cambridgeshire end, and we'll do that. But listen, it's been amazing. Thank you so much. Me. How can people best find you?
If you either find me on LinkedIn, Clare Friel, or go on www.frielgood.com.
Friel.
Friel. Anna Friel, as in Anna Friel.
Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. If you did, please share, subscribe, like, and tell other people about it. We look forward to seeing you on another episode of Success is a System soon.